Okay, good morning, Pastor. I need to talk. So, normally when I do, I make these videos. All right, normally I'm doing a presentation for my show and getting stuff off my chest, but this is for you. And the reason I'm making this video is because, once again, that Bible study woke the sleeping lion inside me. I have that. I have that that unquenchable urge now. And we're on the subject of something that I've never studied. So, with that said, let me begin. Okay, the soul. I've had a breakthrough. Holy Spirit ministered to me the other night, and I think and believe I understand this thing more than I thought. I feel like I can answer your questions now that you posed to the class. And I think and believe that the question was, can the flesh or the spirit override the soul or vice versa? Right? I think that's the gist of the question if I don't have it exactly. And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. The flesh or the spirit can override the soul, which is my conscience, my consciousness in this world at any given point in time. Case in point, now that I understand what's going on inside me, right? The times that we've had our real bad arguments or whatnot, you were dealing with the flesh, and I'm quite sure you know that. But you were dealing with that guy. My soul and the spirit was sitting back listening to this guy go overboard in defending me, right? The flesh, the spirit man, okay, has taken over, has guided, has led in my in my experiences plenty of times. But he's not as strong as the flesh. And probably because I've been feeding the flesh, right? And this is why I've been having that big attitude. I can see now that there were a lot of times when I thought I was right, I was out of line. Why did I think I was right? Because both the flesh and the spirit have the same mindset, share the same thoughts as the soul. But they have different perspectives on it than the soul. Different perspectives. So in essence, what I'm saying is that the soul is dependent upon both the spirit and the flesh, in that sense, to make any type of decision that's placed before you. Both parties are included in the decision-making process with their input. You got the devil on this side, you got the angel on this side, the proverbial thing that they put out there. But in reality, it is the flesh on one side and the spirit man on the other. Now, let me tell you something about the flesh and the spirit man, right? They occupy a side in my being, and they never cross over. The flesh is always, now pay attention to the words I'm getting ready to use. The flesh is always on the left side talking to me. The spirit man is always on the, wait for it, right side. Right. Right meaning in the right side, and right meaning in the right mindset of all things. Okay, I found that kind of odd, but it's there. They never switch sides. It's always on the same side, right? And these guys, it's like, you meet somebody and they say, I got all these voices talking to me, and then you say, I want to talk to so-and-so, and that person comes forward. Yeah, man, that's real. That's real. Depending upon how dominant these beings, or I don't know if I call them beings or what they are, that are inside of you. Okay? The flesh, the soul, and the spirit are all three different entities, but they are one. They're one and the same. They're one and the same being, but split apart with different personalities and different perspectives on anything that you encounter in life. So I spent the last day, day and a half, putting the flesh back in its place. I mean, I'm verbally speaking to that being. And guess what? It's working. It's working. Now, he's strong. He got stronger than I thought. He takes over at will. So I have to put him back in his place with help from the Spirit man, because he's gotten too strong for my soul. Reminds me of the hymnal, "It Is Well With My Soul." I understand that now. You see, when we were in the class, I had a "what you talking about, Willis" moment, right? When you started, "What you talking about, Pastor?" Because you piqued my interest when you started talking about the soul. And then you said something that initiated the breakthrough. You said that the soul takes pleasure or has pleasure in the things that the flesh does, and the spirit. So if the soul, which is my consciousness, which is me, is taking pleasure or the negative aspect of whatever these beings do, right? And I lost my train of thought, so I might sound different when I bring this home. Then they can take the lead and take control, right? And therefore, I become dependent upon them because I want them to feed me whatever it is that I'm craving now. Do you understand? Okay, case in point, let me clean this up a little bit. Doing crack. You know what I mean? The first time I did crack, it was around the time when Len Bias, the basketball star, died. And I remember this particular girl, I'm not going to say no names, right? But, I was giving her a ride to her job, which was, she was a stripper, right? And it was some extra pocket money for me. I take her, to her bar, drop her off, and then come back and pick her up, right? Sometimes I go early, get a few drinks, watch the girls, right? And we were taking her home, and she wanted to stop over on College Street and pick up some crack. So at that point, I had never done it. I was scared, man. Len Bias, I had been offered it, but I turned it down. Len Bias, you know what I mean? That's all I'm thinking. I don't want to have a heart attack. But this guy on my left-hand side who wanted to screw this chick, right? I said, dude, man, just give it a try. What can it hurt? And I listened to him. The spirit man on the other side kept telling me about Len Bias. These things can happen to you. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and try it. I made the conscious decision to agree with my flesh. You see, and that's another thing, right? We have to make the conscious decision to agree before these beings can take lead. Do you understand? Now, you might say, oh, well, it sounds a bit like a contradiction. No, it's not. Because even though this man, right? Okay, look at it like this. I'm Switzerland in my soul. I'm neutral to both sides. So I'm taking great influence from both sides. Whoever has the better offer, this is the one I'm going to take. So I'm being greatly influenced by this entity over here, right? Saying, go ahead, man, take the crack. It'll feel good. You might, be able to have sex with this woman. This is what you always wanted, and it's going to feel great. You know what I mean? And so I said, okay, I'm going to try it. The rest is history. The rest is history. Now, the spirit man, who never stopped talking to me, he was the one, when I'm walking home late at night, and you guys might remember I told you about this in class, he was the one that was preaching those sermons that I would listen to with every step that I took to get home. He was the one. I said I heard it in my own voice. It's the spirit man that was ministering to me, that was trying to effect change to me, but the spirit, the flesh was strong at that point, dominant, and it led me wherever it wanted to go, and I followed. Do you understand? So yes, these entities can take the lead and be dominant and take control. But in order for them to do that, your soul, has to be in agreement. Has to. Has to. As far as I understand these things right now. And with the breakthrough, it's only been a couple of days, but I feel like I'm a scholar on this. I feel like I know this thing. And I can't wait a whole week for the next class, man. I got to talk about it now. I got to talk about it now. Because this is, wow. And what else? This is coming out of it also. I have control over everything, the soul. The soul has control. The soul makes decisions on what direction it's going to go with great influence from either the right or the left, right? It makes sense now when it didn't for the last 50 years. Didn't make no sense to me. Why am I doing these things? Like Paul, I don't want to do it, but I'm doing it. The stuff I want to do, I don't do that stuff, man. But I want to do it. Why can't I do it? Because the flesh is stronger than the spirit, man. And unbeknownst to me and beknownst to me, I've been feeding the flesh and making him that strong. And now he intimidates the soul when he wants to do stuff, when he wants to come out and protect me, when he wants to go ham on somebody. It takes great effort to pull him back and put him in his place. Great effort. I have no problem with the spirit, man. He's humble. Remember we define being humble, quiet, obedient. You know what I mean? And that's the spirit, man, that's inside me. So I asked him to stand up. I need him. I need him. I need him right now. You know what I mean? Because now I got to put the flesh dude back in his place. He's gotten too big. He's gotten too strong. This is where you get your cuss words anytime some art comes and, and you want to respond. It's always with great anger because he sees it different. He sees it different from the spirit man and the soul. His perspective is very critical of all things. Very critical. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't go his way, he throws a tantrum. So he's gotten way out of control. And I understand that now. And we're working. When I say we, myself and the spirit man, we're working to put him back in his place. He's needed. He's needed. You understand? It's not like we don't need the flesh. No, the flesh is needed because you have to have balance. And he, like I said, he protects me. He protects me from adverse situations and things of that nature, man. Do you understand? So he's needed. But if you feed something too much, they get cocky. You know what I mean? They get cocky. They get a big head. And this dude, man, he's walking around like he owns everything and everybody. As you can tell from my attitude sometimes. Right? Once again, when you see me in that mindset, it is not me, my soul, my consciousness. It's him. It's that guy. And that guy don't take no shorts from nobody. You understand? Yeah, man. I need to talk about this more. I need to go into it in depth. I need to understand more because there's more to understand. So how far is this class going on this particular subject? Seriously, man. I think, you see, when we're in class, and this began, I think down at Focus, you guys, 80% of the time has been dealing with that guy. Right? That guy. Why? Why is the flesh out there? Right? Why is the flesh out there speaking to you guys? Because he's protecting me. I felt threatened. I noticed that because it was like a tag team, you and Pastor Clark are always against me. And sometimes y'all did back me in a corner. And I felt threatened. And this guy came, on the white horse with the flags and the cavalry behind him. He came out. And he began to play with you guys. And that's where you get the vitriol and all that kind of stuff that began in my speech towards you guys. You understand? So I have to learn to balance and control him. You understand? I have to. There's a lot I don't know. But there's a lot I do know now. And this knowledge comes from practical application. I'm not reading a book on these things. I've never read a book on the soul. Never. I meant to a long time ago because it came up in the rescue mission, but no, I've never read anything on the soul. I didn't even know what the soul was until your class the other night. I was remiss in that aspect of my research and studies. You know what I mean? So, you can see, man, I've only scratched the surface and I'm already gone 15 minutes, man. So I know you ain't gonna look at this thing if it goes so long, man. But let's get much, man. Let's talk about this. Let's do something, man. Because I gotta know. And if you got the answers, I need them. If not, if you seeking, if you were asking that question because you didn't know, then let's reason this thing and find out. You understand? Wow, man. Y'all woke the sleeping lion. That's a good thing. I'm saying it like it's a bad thing. No, that's a good thing, man. But I can't believe he was asleep for so long. You see, I wasn't consciously aware of this. Because he was so strong. Speaking of the flesh guy, and the simple reason that we share the same mindset, but with different perspectives. He's thinking what I'm thinking what he's thinking, so I thought that I was still in control. No. And there is the answer to your question. The soul, me, I haven't been in control of this body in a long time. So, yeah, man, I can answer that question. And the other ones that you were posing, because I don't watch the tape about 2 or 3 times. You know? I need to talk about it. All right, man. I got a whole lot more I could say right now, but I'm going to end this thing. Let's have lunch or something, man. Let's talk. Peace.